All right, YouTube. I'm in Walnut, California. Just finished up my home time. I finally made it home after 2 blowouts, engine exhaust filter being plugged up, and a lot of other stuff. I finally made it home. Took a little home time. Now my current situation is I'm here at Walnut. I got to meet Junior Honduras today. Shout out to you. And I'm headed back to Springfield, Missouri terminal to turn in my truck, which I'm happy to do. I like this truck, but you know, this truck always has a problem. As you can see, check engine light is on. So I'm headed to the terminal now. Wish me luck. And I'll catch back with you guys either when I'm there or when I'll take a break. Now, potential problems I could run into tonight are this reefer was giving off an alarm saying that the box was out of range, but I'm thinking that's just because the doors were open while they were loading it. So it's probably not really an issue. It's probably cooling back off now. All right, we're gonna hit these streets. I wish I could go back home. I literally live 10 miles from here. I wish I could go home and just go to sleep, but let's do this final little trip. Fly back home on Saturday or Friday. Call it a life. Peace out, y'all. Hey, what's going on, guys? I just want to make this video real quick, a little update video about my trip. I am currently about 65 miles from Lake Havasu, Arizona, on the 40 freeway eastbound, headed back to Springfield, Missouri. Now, oh, there it goes. Last night when I told you guys that I might have some reefer problems, because first it was telling me that the reefer temperature was out of range, right? Eventually, as it cooled off and it got later into the night, the alarm stopped, and then the reefer did finally cool back down. Like I said, I think it was just telling me that because it was hot. Obviously, because it was hot, you know what I'm saying? So I guess once the engines kicked on and cooled down, then it was much less of a problem. So that alarm went away. This morning I woke back up to the alarm again on my phone. It said that the temperature was out of range. Then I looked out, the alarm went away because the reefer came back on. Now I'm getting another alarm saying that the reefer is going to shut down because of pressure, which I'm thinking oil pressure. So I have to contact Road Assist, but the reefer just came on and the alarm light went off. So I don't know. So I'm gonna try to contact Road Assist. I'm about 60 miles from the Loves that I have to fill up at. So maybe when I get down there, I'll grab some oil or something. I did have oil. I did have windshield wiper fluid and stuff like that in my truck, but I was going to they told me to empty your truck out because you're going to turn this truck in and you're going to be coming back, you know, flying back home to a day cab. So I took out the oil. I took out the you know, all my load locks are at home, my windshield wiper fluid. I just emptied it out because I thought this was going to be a quick trip. So depending on what Road Assist says, depending on what they say, if it's something bad, well, it's probably not too bad. Probably just need oil. But if it needs oil, I'm gonna ask them, can I go down here to this Loves and get the oil? Because the reefer is on now, so it's gonna hold me until I get there. But I'm still on my 10-hour break, and I'm at 7 hours and 47 minutes into my 10-hour break, so I got about 3 hours, or about 2.5 hours before I can start rolling again, which is all right, because I'm gonna be honest with you, y'all. Last night I was really tired. I was really tired last night because I left to this trip really late in the day. I left around, my dispatch told me I'm good to roll. I left around 2. Went to go pick up a empty load about 30 miles from my house. Came back 30 miles to a city that's 10 miles from my house that I thought they were going to load me early according to my dispatcher, but they told me to come back at 6:30, and by that time my clock was already clicking, so or ticking. So by the time that I started getting on the road heading to Missouri, I was already down to my 14-hour clock. Most of my day had gone by. I was really extremely tired, so I'm going to go back and take a nap. But before I do that, I'm going to go check on this reefer alarm. But now, here's another thing that's going on, right? So initially the plan was for me to take this truck, go home, empty this truck out, drive back to Missouri to take my flatbed intermodal class, right? Now, the problem with that now is it is currently 10 o'clock, okay? It is 10 o'clock Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock. I'm supposed to be there by Thursday, 7 a.m., and I am approximately 1,350 miles away. Now, I can really drive and make it there on Thursday, but I won't make it there in time for the class. So there's really no point in me trying to, overwork myself. And that's one thing I don't like to do, is overwork myself. I just want to, drive a reasonable amount to where I'll still make it there on time without pushing myself too much to where I'll be too tired to continue the trip. But so I'm not going to make it there in time for the flatbed class, and that's not my fault. My dispatcher already explained it was a mistake. He was afraid that this load would have taken too long. And when I was looking at it, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make it. I didn't know that the flatbed class was that early. I thought, I said, maybe I can drive 500 miles today, tomorrow, and then maybe a couple hundred miles the day of the class and still make it there. And then once my shift is over, just go right to the class. But I guess the class is at a certain time, so that wouldn't work, and they can't really change the time or wait for me, which makes sense. So what's going to happen is I'm going to continue my route to Missouri, Springfield, right? I'm going to drop this load off at the yard. Then I'm going to be loaded back to California. And I don't know if I'm going to do some local work there or take a little more home time. I don't know. Whatever I do, I'm going to definitely, hopefully, I can't say, with my luck, you can't say definitely. So I'm going to try to get back. They're going to try to route me back to Missouri by next Thursday. So after I go drop here in Missouri, I'm going to go back home, probably work some local stuff there, and then head back to Missouri. But I'm just trying to get rid of this truck, because this truck is giving me problem after problem after problem after problem with the whole speedometer thing. Maybe I'm going to go check that out when I'm going to go drive to the International dealership when I get out there and see what that's about. And we're going to see, because, if it's a major problem, that might change the whole situation. That might say, okay, leave the truck here. I don't know. This flatbed thing is starting to be like, okay, it's messing with my money. You know what I'm saying? It's $100 extra a week, but I can't seem to get to that extra $100 a week because something is always stopping me from getting there, getting to the class, or the truck is blowing tires and stuff like that. So we're gonna see what this depending on what the problem is with this truck, is gonna determine whether or not I'm gonna drive this truck back home and then come back to Missouri, or if I'm just gonna go fly home, leave the truck there, and start day cab and just do the normal intermodal reefer. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't feel safe driving something, then safety over anything. Honestly, I can care less about the load. You know what I'm saying? I care about myself more than anything. But I'll give you guys an update when I get to Missouri and let you guys know what is gonna take place, and I'll keep you updated when I get there. Peace out, y'all. All right, what's up, guys? Listen, I just woke up. Actually, they woke me up, the driver lineup people. I had to bring them the bill of ladings for this load. It's currently like 5 o'clock in the morning here at Springfield, Missouri. I got here last night around 10. So here's a little lesson, something that I learned today, is when you are taking a load from the 01, but you're not taking it to the 90, you're going to drop it at a yard, whether it's Utah, Springfield, or Fontana, Denver yard, any of that. If you're not taking it all the way to the official 90, do not do a macro that says you arrived at the 90, because it's really not the 90. I didn't know that. I just learned that today, because when I got here last night, I did a macro, the one, saying that I arrived at my location, which is which is not the 90, not the official 90, but it's my 90 shit. So I didn't know I didn't know that, and so the guy in driver lineup woke me up and told me bring the bill of ladings. I could have sworn that I thought I turned them in, but I guess I didn't. Bring the bill of ladings, and he told me don't fill out a 01 when you're not going to. Don't fill out a 01 macro or a ride macro if you're not going officially to the 90. So I was like, what am I supposed to, fill out? He said nothing. You just come to the terminal, you know what I'm saying? So actually, yeah, I got some other stuff I need to do. But yeah, that's that. All right. So that's a recommendation to you guys. All right. I've done it before. Actually, all of my loads, I have never had since upgrading, I have never had an official 90 yet. My first load was from Utah terminal to Springfield terminal, and then Springfield terminal back home, and then from home back to Springfield terminal. So I've never had an official 90 where I had to get unloaded or I had to drop a trailer or anything like that, just because they're trying to get me home to start my intermodal in the day cab. So they're taking this truck, which I don't mind anymore, because after the problems this truck is giving me, I'm like, go ahead, you can have it back now. Actually, luckily for me, I made it here. Well, I got a nail in the tire again. That's really not my fault. 1,500 mile trip, something is bound to happen, sometimes. So, that little nail really not going to do nothing to a big tire, but still, it's just always something with this truck. So I'm glad to be getting it off my hands. All right, guys, peace out.